Alright guys, welcome back. I have not made a video in a minute, and I know um, the videos are more for me than anything, but I want to do them. I mean, it's basically the summer. I want to do them almost daily, but I've put my priorities elsewhere for this final week of school and the week, last week, so we got the hat today. It's pretty awesome. So welcome. I wrote down some things I want to discuss so I don't ramble and we just get straight to the point. So today is Tuesday, May 23rd of 2023. So, I might lower my... That better? That might be better. Yeah. Okay. So, where to start? Okay. So there is one more real day of school, which is tomorrow, and then after that, we have an amusement park day. Of course we do, because the education system is purposeful, and so we're gonna go to an amusement park. So, and then Friday there's nothing. So, with that being said, there's a lot going through my head. There's a lot I'm thinking about, a lot I'm preparing for this summer. I got a lot of things to do, and so I'm ready to become a monster, be a beast. But let's reflect a bit today. That's kind of what I have in mind. So let's get to it, right? So I did not make a video for every day of the detox, and I didn't really need to. I could have, and maybe next time I should, but I didn't. That is not to say that I know Hamza was talking about, and I'm gonna reference him a lot because Buddy's got some points for sure. And he was kind of saying that a detox should be a way of life. It shouldn't just be a thing you do. That's why he says that the people on YouTube would say I did a detox for 1 week or 30 days and this happened. And I absolutely agree. For me, the detox is just to kind of reset myself. I call it a detox, but it's just more extreme of what I'm already living. And so I cut out absolutely everything versus controlling myself like I would normally, managing and controlling the amount of time I spend idle or eating bad foods or whatever. So, nonetheless, here are some lessons that I learned from, I guess it wouldn't have been last week, but it would have been the week before. So, allow me to begin. Lessons from detox. So first, I'm actually going to cross these off so I know where I am. Wait a minute. I might be on something. Where's my pen? Oh, I found it. Number 1, learn to love silence. This was very difficult for me the first detox, which I did back in March. But this one was way better, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I learned that working in silence and learning to love silence is a massive skill that we need to capitalize on. So that was a huge thing. I remember on the day after the detox ended, because we ended on a Thursday, I think. Wait, no, that's not right. We ended on a Sunday. But Monday, the following day, I went to school and started doing work, and I didn't even think to put in my earbuds this time. I just got to work, and I was like, this is amazing. And I hope to keep it that way. Get used to working in silence, because I don't need to... Well, this is another thing I'll talk about. Actually, I don't know if I talked about it, but it's kind of part of the second point. But whether you believe it or not, your brain's multitasking while listening to something and working. And so most of my music, it depends on the playlist I put on. But I even have a playlist for studying, and I barely use it. I need to use it more because it doesn't have words, and that's the biggest thing for sure. Is writing a song, especially the lyrics, is a huge part of the art form. It's its own art form, and your brain has to process that and take that out and listen to some lo-fi hip-hop or some orchestra or something. There's no words. I'm not talking about opera. That's its own thing. But that's better. I still like the idea of working in silence, though. I'm a fan of that. I'm not saying I'm going to do it all the time, but most of the time, for sure. It's a useful skill, and you might not realize it, but if you're the kind of guy who has to put his earbuds in, I don't blame you. I'm the same way. But going through the hard bit to get used to that, like the amount of focus you can experience is so much greater. So, wait, did that make any sense? The amount of focus, yeah, you can get into a deeper rhythm, a deeper focus. Next, learn to avoid private stimulation. We'll get into this later. But this is the kind of thing where I want to, moving forward, really take out any idle stimulation, whether it's YouTube or movies or video games, on my own. Bad things happen, whether it's if you play video games on your own, you get lazy, you get tired. If you watch YouTube on your own, you get lazy, you get tired. And for me, it's like 9 out of 10 times I'll get horny. And I don't know what it is. It's my brain being underwhelmed, and then and we'll get into this later. But like I've learned there's two kinds of horny. There's the successful, hardworking, I'm gonna go get it kind of horny, where like you're pumped full of testosterone, you're about to go get, like, you're gonna crush your goal. Then there's the more common one. There's the down bad horny, where you're a useless piece of garbage sitting around, and we all suffer from this, and us men do anyways. In a first world country, all men suffer from this, I think, and nothing good comes out of that. There's no testosterone. It's just estrogen. It's just wanted to be stimulated. It's just wanted to be a baby. It's just wanted to be weak, and so it's very frustrating. And yeah, I'll save that one. I'll get into that. But avoiding that, and what I mean by that is, like, watching YouTube with friends is different, because the people that I'm around not normal people, meaning that we're all nerds or geeks in some way, shape, or form. We're all fascinated in random, miscellaneous, dumb things, and we watch YouTube to learn, and that's a big thing. But watching with other people, trying to learn with other people, like watching a Wendigoon video, even though it's like an hour, but watching with somebody else is way different. Same with playing video games. Like, I played Pokemon today, and I was like, man, I just feel useless right now. Like, I'm not doing anything. And then the point we'll get into later began to occur. Or I guess we kind of already covered that, but don't worry, nothing bad happened. But I'll get into that. So, private stimulation. That's what I mean. So do these things with other people, for sure. It makes it more worth your time, and you kind of retain more of what you learned anyways if you have something to talk about over, or it's more engaging, it's more exciting. Next, diet. Okay. I'm getting excited to move out of the house, mainly for this one right here. Like, I will be very strict with my diet when I'm out of the house, because you can only control so much what you eat when you live in your parents' house. And, like, my family eats pretty healthy, but that's not to say that we still definitely eat some, like, we will eat bad food. It's just how it is. It's kind of inevitable in this country for the most part. And so, things I notice. By day 4 or 5, I've always had a bad gut, but my gut was way less, like, full of gas. Which, like, I would notice myself, like, having to burp all the time. Like, just, and it, there was no reason to, I hadn't eaten in hours, but it's just how my body is, breaking down garbage food. And then as time went on, my body started to clean out more, and that stopped happening. And then the detox ended, and it happens more, but not as much, because I've kind of, like, found a middle ground. Still annoying, gross, undateable. Good diet. Also, more energy. This one's a very subtle one, and you're not gonna believe somebody. You got to do it yourself. This is the biggest thing I've learned with self-improvement. Like, you can take people's words, but you have to do the things and believe that it'll work. If you doubt, then you're accepting failure. Like, you're accepting defeat, not failure. Failure is a good thing, but you're accepting defeat, which makes you bad. I'm trying to be nice here. I could say, like, useless or a worm, but it just makes you bad. You could be better. As a man, I'm learning to just throw myself into things when I'm like, that's a hard thing to do, Therefore, I should throw myself into it to better myself. Like that's going to take extra effort. Therefore, I should do it. That's one of them. Um, Fix your diet for the sake of having more prolonged energy. You're not going to, it's not an energy drink, which, first of all, energy drinks don't do anything. We all have ADHD, idiot. Like, caffeine does absolutely nothing. But second, you have to, like, you won't notice it as much as you will just experience it. You will have more energy and more focus. I don't know what else to tell you. It's not going to be dramatic. This is a huge problem with overstimulation. You don't notice things unless they're dramatic, and it's really sad. And that's why nobody's religious anymore. One reason. There's a lot of reasons. That's another thing I'll talk about in the future. It's fascinating. But that's another thing. Huge thing. And then the last point connects to that. It made the gym so much easier. I slept better. I slept good every night during that detox, I'm pretty sure. And it made the gym way easier. I enjoyed that greatly. That was amazing. Some of the best workouts I've had, just the flow I was in. I wasn't very the last 2 days I've been pretty tired. I've been pretty fatigued, and that wasn't happening then. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's my diet, but I think it's actually mostly related to my sleep. That was my alarm to go to bed. I have the hardest time getting to bed on time. It is. It's frustrating. Nonetheless, all in all, self-control in any situation. Self-control equals fulfillment. You want to be fulfilled. You want to be fulfilled. Practice self-control. In anything. In all things. Life isn't supposed to be easy, and if that kind of makes you scared, that's okay. I've been there, but you need to poke that bear a little bit. You really need to. And I'll definitely get into how my in a future video I will get into. Actually, let me write this down. I'll get into my self-improvement journey, or just how I actually got started, because there's definitely a point where you could. There's many points where it's really easy to just kind of back out, where you're like. But I feel like it is extremely important. As I said last time, it's really the only way to live. And I need to explain these things. I can't just expect people to understand what I'm talking about, which is fine. I've spent hours and days of my life trying to master these things and learn about them. And so my apologies if I ever say things and don't elaborate, because these are things I think about constantly, and I forget that other people aren't thinking my same thoughts, and I need to explain. So now, the incident, or the lack of, actually, the story. So, I called it Fiendin' Day Story. Why? Because, baby girl, I was fiending. So, I was playing. So, I had gone home. I always have the biggest amount of homework possible, but now I don't. And I really don't like it, actually. I really don't like having things to do. Don't like not having things to do. There we go. Because it feels so wrong. I've spent the last entire school year working so hard, and I haven't even been. My school is so stupidly difficult that I'm not even getting straight A's for having 3 or 4 hours worth of homework almost every night. And it's because I don't have that kind of time, and I adopted the work smarter, not harder, but it wasn't even that smart. And anyways, I got good grades this year. And by good, I mean A's, B's, and then it was A's and B's all year. This last quarter, anyways, I kind of ate some trash on 2 of the absolute hardest classes ever, and I dropped down to C's. And I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm not trying to say oh, C's are so bad. And it depends on what your aspirations are. Okay, so for me, that's a not a good grade. For me, a good grade is B. There's a good and a good. A good grade's a B. A good grade's an A. And this school is very hard. A lot of Hitler's master race gets all the straight A's. In other words, blonde people, all the straight A's. Not fair. Am I being racist? I don't know. Maybe. I don't care. They get all the freaking straight A's, and it's not fair. So I rambled, see? And I was racist while rambling. Okay. So, came home, made food, uh, and then I was like, let me watch some YouTube on the TV. That resulted in me being there for a minute, 60 minutes. Actually, I don't know how long it was. It was probably less. And then I was like, I want to play Pokemon because I haven't played Pokemon since January. So then I pull out Pokemon Violet and I start to play. And as time goes on, I'm tired, I'm lazy, I'm uncomfortable too. Like, I actually hate my couch. That's one of my biggest motivators to not be idle. I hate my couch. It's comfy, but for a really tall person. Because, like, there's no comfortable... Oh, no, it's so goofy. There's, like, no good, comfortable way to sit on it unless you're, like, 6'5". Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but, like, it's just... It's dumb because there's a decline. So, like, it's a slight decline. So, like, instead of it being like this, it's... You have the bulgy backrest, this, like, pocket for, like, a 30-degree angle butt cheek, and then it, like, kind of goes like this. And so, anyways, like, you don't even realize it, but you're like this. If you, like, try to scoot back, then your, like, knees are in your nose. And I hate it. It makes my neck hurt and give me a headache. Nonetheless, this is what happens. I'm sitting down for too long. I'm being tired. I'm being lazy. And then my underwhelmed brain goes, there's cool things on the internet. And then I go, frick. And then my brain goes, it'd be the greatest idea ever. You know what would be exciting? You know it wouldn't be this boring? Because honestly, I was only having mild fun. So then, anyways, yeah, I was like, my brain was like, all right, well, you're bored clearly, so let's get the lubricant and let's go ham. And man, dude, I hate this so much. So let's talk about how to overcome that, because this is a very common thing. And whenever you do overcome these, like, temptations or these cravings or desires, like, you should always reflect and always celebrate. Always, 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 always. You have to reinforce the behavior, the war that you and your brain and your soul went to not fall for the tricks, to not, not give in, not give up. And so here's how I did that, right? So first off, I noticed the culprit, noticed the danger. I was like, okay, well, I'm sitting down on this couch that's uncomfortable. Therefore, I'm extra underwhelmed. I'm tired. I'm lazy. And frickers. Now what? So what I ended up doing was, so first you notice the culprit. Then I got to work and focused. What I did is I made dinner. Now, Andrew Tate would tell you, don't cook your food. Time is money. Don't cook. Who cooks? What kind of a loser cooks? I'm that kind of loser. I'm also going on a 2-year mission within the next year, and I need to know how to cook. So that's really a weird argument. Like, I understand it, but I like cooking. I don't know about you, but I like cooking. I like making a good meal, and I actually need to eat. Shoot. So there's that. I made food. I focused. And I listened to some music while doing it, like some awesome music. I listened to some Powerwolf, and if you want the greatest, if you want the greatest power metal out there, Judicator, The Last Emperor album. I think that's what it's called. Gosh dang, it's so good. So I listened to some of that, and I was just like, I was very focused. I went ham. I made the craziest dinner. And I feel like that was super important. I also thought about those people that I love who kind of rely on me in a way, right? I thought of my girl. I thought of my friends who I've talked to endless hours about self-improvement and trying not to and trying to go to the gym. And I'm like, okay, I can't let these guys down. Can't let her down. By the way, I'll get into that later. Set goals for yourself, guys. Like, I'll never... do the fun. I can't even. I've made a rule that I can't. I will not do that until there's a ring on this mother friend. That's just me. It's half religious, half just me being ambitious and striving and trying to do the hard work, right? Therefore, this makes it extra hard when, uh, like I can't do it, period. There's no release happening. And semen retention is like one of the greatest gifts or goals, ways of life a man can live, for sure. Anyways, it's very difficult though. It's very tricky, especially when like you have someone you love so much, like right here, and you're like, but you can't do that. Can't freaking do that because you have both agreed that you're not gonna do that, and so that's how it is. But it's difficult. It's very difficult. But the last thing I think I wrote down is that I thought of my plan. Oh, I thought of my plans for the week, and then I also evaluated like the amount of suffering I'd have to go through if I fell for the tricks. If I gave in and I went, and that's not very realistic. It would just be like, do you like the pictures I'm painting? I do too. Because for the final, actually, I thought there was School Friday, but there's not. But that day, if you want like top tier melodic death metal, Aetherum, gonna go see them live in a month. Don't even get me started, man. Phenomenal. They're Tarot, I don't even know, Tarot. I don't know how you pronounce it, right? The Silly Cards. Their album, hour and 27 minutes, I believe. One of my favorite albums ever. It is so epic and stoic. And I have been planning for months now to go on a run up in the mountains just for the whole duration of the album, just to like have the most self-empowering experience. And I thought about that, and I was like, shoot, man, if I like lose my fuel, my life juice for nothing, man, that's gonna be miserable. Like, I need to save this stuff up. The longer you go, like, just naturally, the more energy you have, the more fire you have in you. That's just how it is. And so, like, I'm gonna wait it out, absolutely, because I want that to be not easy, but easy as it can. It's not going to be easy. Running for an hour and 27 minutes, right? But it's gonna be as easy as it can be if I don't do that, because I need those juices, man. I need the fuel, and I can't be losing that. And so that convinced me right there. I was like, okay, and it didn't bother me for the rest of the day. And then just to like put the nail in the coffin, I went on a run around the block, which is just barely short of a mile. I did it in like 5 minutes. Took the dog, and yeah, like that right there was the nail in the coffin. It's like, okay, the temptation, the idea is gone. And I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna eat. Actually, I'll eat first, then I'll shower and go to bed, and I'm done. Like I conquered the day. That was a long sleeve. Do you see that? Bro, my biceps hidden. But yeah, it is done. I'm proud. This is a good habit. Is this positive reinforcement? Whenever you do have these temptations, like, you should teach your brain that good things happen if you don't do it. Because your brain thinks, well, good things happen if I do it, because then, which is not true, because then after, you go, and you'll be a grumpy idiot for like an hour or more, let alone your lack of fire and energy. It's not necessarily energy. It is that fire. It's that like willpower that'll die. So I'm done. That's it. That's my video. I'll be back. Hopefully to talk about other things. If there's anything in this video kind of like caught your attention that you want me to elaborate on, let me know. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.